What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Serge, aka the floor price guy. And we're combat sport guys. We're coming to you back with another UFC Fight Night Royval versus Taira breakdown, analysis, prediction, opinions, picks. Before we get started, floor price guy, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. Always a pleasure doing this with you, my brother. We got a good fight night. We got Royval versus Tyro. Um, let's get at it.
Let's get to it. And before we do, make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, the comment. Follow us on X. We're putting out content daily. We are steadily growing that platform there and building a small community. So make sure you show some love. Don't be stingy. I said every week, do not be stingy. So let's get into this card. Opening up the card here, we have Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha, a flyweight bout. Carpenter is 7-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last winning against Juan Camilo Ronderos via rear naked choke submission in the first round. He was originally supposed to fight Steve Ursay. Now, on the other end, we have Rocha, who is 17-1 and is also 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last winning via a knee KO to Davy Bittencourt in the second round. He was originally slotted to fight Joshua Van, but that fight got canceled. He is making his UFC debut coming off of the Contender Series. Now, looking at both fighters here, I think Carpenter is a good grappler. He pushes the pace, and he looks to either control the fight by buying time on the ground and looking for that submission win. He has 3 submissions out of his 7 victories. Rocha, on the other end, he has the striking edge. He's a good striker. His defense, however, is questionable. He gets hit and he gets taken down quite often. For me, it's pretty simple. Given Rocha's lack of takedown defense, I'm going to have to give this to Carpenter. He has the momentum. He has the win streak. And yeah, Carpenter's the pick for myself. Who you rolling with, floor price guy, and why?
I got to go with Carpenter. Carpenter seems like he's the more, I'm not going to say skilled. I'm going to say more polished fighter. Like it was great seeing him kind of like, his Contender Series against Charez, right? Charez went on to the UFC Sphere, and that guy's an animal fighting. But he was able to withstand that first round storm, come back in the second, and really got to see him shine in like against Ronderos. That's when I was like, wow, this kid's good. I mean, look, Rocha is the underdog here, plus 145. He's a dog, man. The only thing, like you said, I don't like it when he's scrambling. The opponent's taking him down. I think Carpenter will be looking to kind of take him down, ground and pound, neutralize him. But yeah, Rocha's no joke. This fight should be closer to, but it's not. But I'm still going with Carpenter on this one.
Yeah, and then given the height differential here, we got 5'6" up against 5'3" with the reach advantage going to Carpenter. Rocha's going to really have to get in the pocket and really utilize his striking in that way. But I think Carpenter's going to clinch him and take him down. So as you mentioned, it's going to be a close fight, but the pick is Carpenter. We are going with the favorite who is at a minus 175. Next up, we have a bantamweight bout. Dan Argueta versus Cody Haddon. Argueta is 9-2 in their UFC career and is 1-5 in their last 5 fights, last losing to John Matsumoto via guillotine choke. Cody Haddon, on the other end, is 7-1 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last win against Billy Brand via rear naked choke. He, as well, is also coming off of the Contender Series. This is their UFC debut. Now, when you look at Haddon and you see his last fight, he has good striking and grappling. He will look to keep the fight standing and wear Argueta down with his jabs and leg kicks and keep this fight at his pace. Argueta is primarily a wrestler. He isn't too well-rounded in the sense that he kind of just relies on his wrestling to win fights, to gut out victories. He takes down his opponent, he controls them, kind of edges out a fight that way. But I think the thing that benefits Argueta in this fight, and he is the underdog at plus 150, is he has the UFC experience. He's been around the block. And I think given his experience and his wrestling prowess, he is going to be victorious in this fight, in my opinion. I think he is going to get out a decision win. It's going to be a close fight as well, but I think I'm going to give the edge to the underdog, Argueta.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Haddon. I liked what I see, the finishes. I get it. The kid has no UFC experience, but he looks good. And that's the thing about it. I got the Contender Series right now to my left, and there's a little finish. But I got to say, these guys, they're fighting top talent in the Contender Series, and that division, that bantamweight division, is a sick division. So I'm gonna go with Cody. I don't like. I just don't like. What do you call it? Dan's attitude. Like, he's a good wrestler. I just feel, he's get a little bit. He's had 2 no contests. There's been 2 losses and one win in his last kind of couple of ones.
Yes.
I just don't like his. I think Haddon gets it done. I think Haddon's a more polished fighter, not more complete, because Argueta has the wrestling, right? Well, let's see what Haddon does. I'm gonna go with the favorite here.
There it is. You are going with the favorite. I'm going with the underdog, and let's see how that plays out.
And also, I would say for this one's a medium. When it comes
yes. I forgot to mention. So for the first fight, I'm pretty confident that Carpenter will win the fight. So I'm going to do a high for that one. And for this one, I'm going to go medium as well.
For Dan?
No, so I didn't mention it in the first fight. So I'm saying for the first fight, I'm going high. Second fight, I'm going medium, because I forgot to mention that. So there we have it.
And that's what I mean. Against Dan, you're going medium on Dan? You're going medium on Dan?
Medium.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. Well, good luck with that.
Let's do it. Next up, we have some big boys. We got a heavyweight bout. We got Chris Barnett, who is the underdog at a plus 300, up against Junior Tafa, who is the favorite at a minus 380. So this is a heavyweight bout. Barnett is 23-8 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last winning via KO, TKO, ground and pound to Jake Collier. Tafa is 5-3 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. He last lost to Walter Walker via heel hook submission. Barnett is returning to the UFC after 2 years. He was out due to injury. Barnett is the smaller fighter in this fight, and he might look to close the distance, get in the pocket against Tafa, and maybe even take the fight to the ground, because Tafa, if you look at his previous fights and his losses, he has vulnerabilities when he gets taken down to the ground. His wrestling is not all there. He's primarily a striker. Now, when you look at Tafa, he's a good kickboxer and does have the striking advantage against Barnett. He's taller and can use that to his advantage, keep Barnett on the back pedal and at distance. His issue is, as I mentioned, he has poor takedown and gets controlled easily on the ground. For me, I think I'm going to go with the younger fighter. I think Tafa, at 28 years old, looks to get back in the win column. He's the pick. I think he's going to, the layoff, there might be ring rust on Chris Barnett. He's 38 years old. He hasn't fought in 2 years. I think Tafa's going to push the pace and get back in the win column. So Tafa is the win.
Really? Okay.
Is the pick. And I'm going to go with pretty confident on that one.
Well, I gotta go with Barnett, right? I'm the old school guy. You were giving me a little bit of banter here. You like Barnett? You seen a couple of his highlight reels, bro? Bro,
he's
listen.
Athletic. He's a bad man, but
he's athletic. But listen, I saw Tafa, and I was thinking the brother, but when I saw it was baby brother, I'm like, or I don't know if that's the baby brother, but I know that the other Tafa I would have gone with the other Tafa, but not with this one. I don't like the consistency with Junior Tafa. I got to go with Chris. I think Chris, he just managed to get it done. The other Tafa has the touch of death. This one's good. Don't get me wrong, but he has the power. I like his brother more, but I do like Chris Barnett, man. I like a flashy. I'm going on a low here, champ, because I do like the guy and I do want him to win. It's going to be tough, but I think Chris gets it done. Chris gets it done by, one. I don't think he gets it done with a kick. Overhand. He has good overhand rights.
Okay, so you're predicting he knocks out Tafa? Are you saying within 2 rounds, within the first round? What do you think?
I'm going to go for the win. I'll go for the win.
Just for the straight win? Okay. So you are going with Barnett. So we're already at opposing ends here. So you said your confidence in this pick is low, or I said it's high. We'll see what happens, man.
Okay, that's going to be nice.
Next up, we have a welterweight bout. We have Themba Gorimbo versus Nico Price. Now, Price is the underdog at a plus 225, whereas Gorimbo is the favorite at a minus 280. Price is 16-7 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. He last won against Alex Morono via unanimous decision. Gorimbo, on the other hand, is 13-4 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. He beat Ramis Brahimiaj via unanimous decision. Price's, his 16 wins consist of 10 knockouts, 3 submissions, and 3 decisions. So he looks to finish the fights. He likes to search to finish the fights. He's nice with the striking and grappling and can finish you on the feet or on the ground. He's pretty well-rounded, right? That's what we come to find with Price. And one of the things we talked about is he kind of looks slow when it comes to the striking exchanges, right? He kind of starts off slow. He looks slow. Gorimbo, on the other hand, he likes to utilize his height to maintain the distance and searches to slow down the fight and keep it at his pace. He does have the grappling edge against Price, in my opinion, and I think that's going to be the key to his success in this fight. He's probably going to look to take the fight down if he can successfully take down Price and win via controlling him on the ground and kind of, winning points and buying time via that way. The pick is Gorimbo. I think he's the better fighter. He'll slow down the pace and make it his fight. But the thing with Nico Price, man, he's so unpredictable. He's tough. But for me, I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going to go with Gorimbo.
Yeah, I'm going with Gorimbo too. The reason why I haven't honestly been liking Price's last couple of fights. Bro, this guy was such a dangerous fighter back in the day. And I don't know. I don't feel like he has that explosion anymore. I don't. His last fight against Alex Morono, yes, he did win, but it wasn't chaotic. Also, it wasn't the Alex that I also saw back in the day, right? Like these guys have been fighting now for a while, right? Like it's just been it's been a minute for the both of them. So I do like Gorimbo. I like his striking. He has good hands, good power punches. He knocked down Petey Rodriguez 8 months ago. I gotta go with Gorimbo, man. And it's just Nico Price is entering into that, I feel, Donald Cerrone level of fighter. I could be wrong, champ, with the most respect. I just, and listen, maybe Nico catches him with a submission.
Yeah, it's unpredictable.
He's very unpredictable, right? But I got to go with Gorimbo here.
Okay, so the pick is Gorimbo. I think for myself, based on Nico Price's unpredictability, I'm going to give it a medium. But I think Gorimbo should be able to gut it out.
I'm giving it a low.
A low? All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a featherweight bout. Jonathan Pearce up against Pat Sabatini. Pearce is the favorite at a minus 135, whereas Sabatini is the underdog at a plus 110. Now, Pearce is 14-6 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. He last lost to David Onama via unanimous decision. Sabatini, on the other end, is 18-5 and is also 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Andre Kocho via unanimous decision. Via split decision, I'm sorry. This is a grappler's delight. This is a fight between two grapplers. I think Pearce is a wrestler, whereas Sabatini is a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Pearce is a solid wrestler and searches for takedowns and is mostly accurate in securing them. I think he has like a 58% accuracy. Last I checked, let me double check that. Do I still have it up? Do not have it up. 1 second. Yeah, he's about 50% in his accuracy, and his takedown defense is at a 58%. So pretty impressive. Sabatini is also good on the ground. He searched for the submission win. He has 12 of his 18 victories, won via submission. He does get hit and is considered to be chinny. I think the issue with this fight and the thing that people are giving Pearce the edge is the striking, right? He is the better striker of the two. And I think if Sabatini makes the mistake of letting this fight be standing, he's going to get hit. He has the potential to get hit. He has the potential to get dropped, and that's where Pearce can capitalize, right? And get on top and kind of control him via that way. But the fight comes down to who pushes the pace and brings the pressure. I think Pearce will push the pace and search to secure takedowns. He just needs to be careful because Sabatini is dangerous and can pull out a submission win. Given his ability to scramble and the submission threat, I'm gonna have to go with Sabatini. I think he gets it done here. If he's able to take down Pearce and secure a takedown and kind of just control him and be in search of that submission, I think he could pull it out. I'm gonna go with the underdog. I like Sabatini. I'm gonna go with him.
And this is a close to even fight. It's very close. I like I gotta say I like Pearce in this one. I liked how he fought Brito, right? And in my honest opinion, he was winning that fight against Brito. And he was, putting him in situations, and Brito just caught him, right? He just and I think that's why you're really saying that Sabatini could catch him. If you watch that fight, it was just a mistake. It was a ninja choke. It barely happens. But I think Pearce gets it done. Shout out to Pat. I don't like how Pat has looked in his last couple of fights. We'll see. I could be wrong, but this one is a low.
Yeah, it's going to be low for myself as well. I just, the striking is always a concern, right? Especially with somebody who's chinny. So the pick is Sabatini for myself. It is going to be low. And for you, it's going to be Pearce low as well. Up next, we have a flyweight bout. CJ Vegara versus Ramazan Temirov. Vegara is the underdog at a plus 210, whereas Temirov is the favorite at a minus 265. Vegara is 12-5-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Asu Amabaya via unanimous decision. Temirov is 17-2 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Takaki Soya via KO TKO in the first round. Both these guys have the speed, right? This is a flyweight bout. They have the speed. They have good conditioning. Vegara is a well-rounded fighter. He likes to move forward. He likes to get in the pocket and just beat you down. He does get taken down, however, but his BJ's okay. His BJJ is okay. Temirov though is on a 9-fight win streak and is making his UFC debut here. If you watch some of his highlights at his previous promotion, he's really fast. And one of the things I like is his striking looks crisp. I think he's gonna move forward. He's gonna mix up the striking combinations. He's gonna piece up Vegara. I think he's gonna win this fight. I don't know if he knocks him out, but I think he is gonna win this fight. So the pick for me is gonna be Temirov.
Yeah, I gotta go with Temirov. I just did, and the reason why my man's coming from the mountains. I didn't like how CJ fought against Azu because it was the same thing. Azu controlled him on the ground. Like it was just that kind of situation where you just got awkward with the wrestling. But I think Temirov gets it done. And like I said, this is a decision as well. Decision.
Yeah, and then given that it's his UFC debut, I'm going to go medium on this because we never know how people are on their debuts, right?
I'll go low. I think Azu could kind of surprise us and do something, but I could. I could be wrong, but I'll go low on this. But I do think he'll go decision. Temirov.
Okay. Next up, we have a welterweight bout: Njokuani versus Jared Gordon. Now, Chidi is the favorite at a minus 185, whereas Gordon is the underdog at a plus 150. Chidi is 23-10 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Rise McKee via split decision. Gooden on the other end is 23-9 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Wellington Turman via rear naked choke in the second round. Who are you going with this fight and why, Floor Price Guy, before I kind of give my opinion on this?
Yeah, I'm going with Shitty. Shitty, I think, is the better kickboxer, better striker in this one. I think Jared does have power, but Shitty also has power. So it's one of those kind of fights. And I remember because, I did put money on Shitty last time. Rise, I think, fought Chimaya, if I'm not mistaken. And, got handed the loss. I'll go with Shitty. We got to remember something. Jared was losing the fight against Wellington Turman 10 months ago. And the odds were massive. I think it was like a 4-1 to Wellington against Jared, and then Jared got it done. He surprised everybody. The crowd went wild. But again, was getting at the beginning getting a little bit dominated, and then he turned the stool. So I got to go with Shitty. What about you, champ?
I think Jared likes to start off the fight fast. I think Chidi should win if he's able to weather the initial storm from Gooden early in the fight, right? Because Gooden is powerful, as you mentioned. He likes to push forward. If Chidi is able to just withstand that first 2-minute or 3-minute onslaught and just kind of slow the fight down, make it his fight. He has the striking edge. I think he's gonna piece him up and kind of set up his strikes via his jab and his leg kick. So I'm gonna go with Chidi as well. Chidi's the pick, and I'm gonna go medium on this.
Medium. I'll go low.
Okay. Next up, we have a middleweight bout between Abdul Razak Alhassan versus Josh Fremd. Fremd is 11-6-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Andre Petrovsky via unanimous decision. He is the underdog at a plus 125. He is fighting Alhassan, who is 12-6 and 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last had a no contest against Cody Brundage, where there was some elbows thrown to the back of the head. That's what resulted in the no contest. Fremd is primarily known as a grappler. He likes to utilize his wrestling skills to control fights and win via that route. Alhassan, however, is a powerful striker. 12 of his wins he has out of his 12 wins, which he has on his record, 12 of them are KO victories. He's super explosive. If the fight goes to the ground, Hassan has a good judo background, so he can scramble and get out of it and maintain and bring the fight back up to its feet. I think he's gonna win. I'm going for Alhassan. I think he has a striking advantage. He's a more well-rounded fighter. He's good on the ground. He's decent on the ground. He can scramble and bring the fight up back to its feet. I'm going to go with Alhassan to win this fight, and my confidence level is going to be a medium for this one.
Yeah, I'll go with the low with Abdul Hazam. I just like that he has the power punching. It would be a long night if Josh manages to takes him down, because I think that would be the strategy, just grapple him. But I just think Abdul has faced a tougher opponent. Abdul will come prepared.
Yes,
I didn't like his fight with Andrew Petrosky. Andrew Petrosky just literally laid on him. That's Petrosky's thing, just laid on him. There was no kind of a urgency to kind of get out of the ground, right? And Petrosky's so strong at holding. Roman Kopylov knocked him out. Roman is a good fighter. Let's not mistake about. But I think Abdul has faced a tougher opposition. Abdul has the power. I think he stuffs the takedown defense, puts him in the clinch, and knocks him out. So if I have to, I'll bet a low, but I'll bet a knockout on this one.
So you're going low, I'm going medium, and you're saying he's going to knock him out. So we'll see what happens. Next up, we have a welterweight bout. Daniel Rodriguez up against Alex Morono. Rodriguez is the favorite at a -205, whereas Morono is the underdog at a +170. Rodriguez is 17-5 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Kevin Gastelum via unanimous decision. Morono is 24-10 and is also 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Nico Price via unanimous decision. Rodriguez, if you look at his fights, look at his past fights, he has good striking. He's a solid boxer. He has, he kind of is, he's very tactical with his striking. He picks his shots nicely. He does gas later in fights, which is kind of an issue, especially if he gets taken down on the ground, right? So that's something to consider. Morono is well-rounded and utilizes his takedowns, but doesn't capitalize on his grappling. And for some reason, he likes to sit up there and stand up and strike with somebody when he can utilize his takedowns. He's kind of inconsistent, as we mentioned earlier. Against Nico Price, he couldn't take him down once, right? It's somebody who's primarily known for their grappling can't take somebody down. It's kind of concerning. He makes just inconsistent decisions, wild decisions, questionable decisions. I think Rodriguez will utilize his reach, throw some solid combinations, and keep this fight standing. I'm going to go with Rodriguez to win. And then my confidence level is going to be a low, because just based on Morono's unpredictability, it's going to be low for me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have to side with Rodriguez as well. I didn't like how Morono looked, like we were talking about, his body language, his demeanor. I don't feel like he's the same fighter. He maybe had an off day at the office. He comes in and proves us wrong, champ. But I think Danielle gets it done with the power, right? I'm trying to think about what situation could it be that Morono strikes him, because, like I said, if it was 5-6 years ago, Morono, I know my guy got a good gas tank. Now, based on the Nico Price fight, the striking was okay, but the cardio was just not to what he's produced in the past. So I got to go with Daniel. I think Daniel gets it done, clenches his mouth. He's a tough guy, and the wins, like, Neil Magny, top 15, Ian Machado, top 6, top 8 now, and then Kelvin Gastelum, where I'll tell you this, like, Kelvin hasn't had a very good winning streak, but Kelvin is still Kelvin, so he's a top 20 fighter. I'll tell you that.
Still that guy.
Still that guy, yeah.
Opening up our main card, we have a women's strawweight bout. Corey Poppins Mckenna, who is the underdog at a +125, up against Julia Polastri, who is the favorite at a -150. Polastri is 12-4 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Josephine Knudsen via unanimous decision. Mckenna is 8-3 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Jacqueline Amorim via submission armbar in round 1. Now, when you look at both these fighters, Polastri is well-rounded. She's a good striker and has a solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Her last loss, she was just outstriked and lost the decision in the end. If you watch that fight, if you look at the highlights, she was just outstriked. She didn't utilize the ground game, take her down to the ground. The fight was brought back up to its feet and she lost that way. Mckenna, she has the Muay Thai background and she's a well-rounded fighter. She likes to either get in the pocket, push the pace, or maintain the distance and piece you up until she sees an opening to regain entry. She doesn't mind keeping the feet on its feet or taking it to the ground. Her last loss, if you look at it, it was just a poor decision on her end, like just poor fight IQ. Like, why would you take or shoot for a takedown on Jacqueline Amorim, who's a world-renowned, grappler, right? Like, why would you do that? So it was just a poor decision. She got submitted, but I think she's a well-rounded fighter. I think she's gonna bounce back, and I'm gonna go with the underdog. I think she's gonna look to get inside and utilize that Muay Thai. So yeah, the pick for me is gonna be Corey Mckenna.
Okay. Well, I also got to go with Mckenna, team alpha male. I think she keeps it on the feet, strikes her with her tie. I think Julia tries to kind of take her down, tries to submit her, but I think for this one, like, she'll come more prepared. She learned that fight was like 6 months ago. So Uriah and the boys probably have her drilling takedowns. Put her with what do you call it, with bantamweight fighters, lightweight fighters. And I think we get the decision by Mckenna this weekend.
Yeah, there we have it. And I'm gonna go low for this one.
It's low.
Just low as well. Next up, we have a men's lightweight bout. We have Grant Dawson up against Rafa Garcia. Dawson is the heavy favorite at a -400, whereas Garcia is the underdog at a +300. Dawson is 21-2-1 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. He last beat Joe Selecki via unanimous decision. Garcia is 16-3 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. He last beat Clay Guida via unanimous decision. Dawson is a wrestler. He has okay striking, but his game plan mainly consists of taking you down, controlling you, and pushing the pace that way. In his win against Selecki, he controlled him for around 13 or 14 minutes, I believe. It's a 3-round fight. He controlled him for the majority of the fight. So pretty impressive win on his end. Garcia has the edge when it comes to the striking, but he's bad on the ground. He does have some power. He also has a couple submission wins, but I think, Dawson, based on his wrestling and past control times, probably will get multiple takedowns, probably will shoot for takedowns and control the fight, maintaining his pace, and will likely win this fight. He's going to make this his fight. Dawson's going to be the pick for me. It's going to be a medium. Who are you going with, my brother?
I got to go with Dawson. Dawson just has had better opposition. Got knocked out by Bobby Green. Bobby Green's a top 15 fighter. They probably removed him.
Let me correct you there before. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's King Green.
Okay, I changed his name. 2 fights ago. My apologies. But I mean, listen, Bob King was on a streak of knockouts, and I just think it was misfortunate, right? It's just like, he went into that fight probably overconfident, but night came. It's okay. It's back to the winning column. 21-2 versus 16-3. Rafa does have good hands, but like you said, the takedown is very sus. So I'm gonna go with. I think Dawson gets it done by submission.
Submission, eh? All right. We'll note that down. So yeah, we're both going with Dawson in this fight. Let's see how it plays out. Co-maining the fight night, we have a middleweight bout. Brad Tavares versus Jung Young Park. Tavares is the underdog at a +145, whereas Park is the favorite at a -170. Tavares is 29-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. He last lost to Gregory Rodriguez via KO punches in the 3rd round. Park is 17-6-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 fights. He last lost to Andre Muniz via split decision. Tavares, if you watch his fight, you watch his past fights, he has good takedown defense. His striking is nice. He's fought some tough opponents, for example. He's fought Adesanya. He's fought Chris Weidman. He's fought Duplessis. He's fought Whitaker. Park as well rounded, but the issue is figuring out what his path to victory could be. Will he stun Tavares with his striking? I don't think so. Will he take him down? I don't think he'll be successful in the takedowns. I think based on Tavares' experience and his good takedown defense, his striking edge, I'm going to have to go with Tavares. He is the underdog. I'm going to pick Tavares to win this fight.
That's a bad man bet, champ. I'll go with Park. I know, and it goes back into I don't think he's the same fighter he was. I think the power is going to be a little bit too much for Tavares. My confidence level is low because every what's that Rocky quote? Every great fighter has one last great fight in him. He can come back and start utilizing because he's known for his movement, right? But yeah, I got to give it a Park. I think we need new blood in that top 15 division.
Okay, so we'll see what happens. We are on opposing ends here. There's a couple fights where we don't agree on. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's gonna be 4 fights we disagree on. So we'll see what happens.
Bad man.
We've made it to our main event. We have the number 1 ranked Brandon Royval up against the number 5 Tatsuro Taira in the flyweight division. Royval is 16-7-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Brandon Morono via split decision. Taira is 16-0 and is on an impressive win streak. He is 5-5 in his last 5 bouts, last beating Alex Perez via KO in the second round. Who do you have for this fight, for Price Guy, and why?
Me, yeah. Okay, well, listen, champ. I mean, this is a great fight. This is surging contender, the next from Japan versus Royval that fought for the belt recently, right? And fought also the former champion Brandon Morono. Got the rematch done. And this is style makes fights. Brandon Royval, brother, I love how he moves. He has that, in and out, and he's from Factory X. Good movement, good striking, great cardio. He's going to be, I think he's from Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. So, already trains in altitude, right? When he faced Morono, looked amazing. Morono wasn't able to keep up with this cat. It was the first time that I saw Morono, kind of struggling a little bit with the cardio. It just looks like he wasn't able to keep up. But Taira just has the it. You look at his couple fights, and it's just been finishes and arm bars. And, he did go to a decision with Chires. The Chires is that Mexican durability, great fighter. Champ, the odds for this fight should be at close to even fight. Let's be very honest with each other. I think the reason why it's like this because they have this guy as the next, like I said before, the next it. However, I do want to see new blood in the division. I do want, now it's a matter where Morono and Royval and Pantoja, they're all rematching each other because they're that good. But I think, Taira gets into the equation, beats Royval, and faces the champ Pantoja. So I got to go with Taira. Do I like the odds of this fight? I prefer it being an even fight. Royval is very good. I do have this as a low, showing nothing but respect to Royval. But I think Taira has his number.
Yeah, it's I think going over the odds here, Royval is the underdog at a plus 165, whereas Taira is the favorite at a minus 200. Royval is a well-rounded fighter. He can finish you on the feet or finish you on the ground. He pushes the pace, moves forward, and he looked amazing against Brandon Morono. As we mentioned, he has exceptional cardio. He throws strikes with volume. He has a good ability to scramble when he's on the ground. He has 4 KO wins and 9 submission wins. In his fight against Morono, he controlled the center of the octagon and had Morono circle in the octagon. He did get hit a few times, and that's because when he threw his combinations, he dropped his hands and didn't find the appropriate exits. But, he let himself open to those shots. I don't think Taira is as good of a striker as Morono. He's mainly known as a grappler. Taira is undefeated, but this fight will be his true test. He's good at grappling. He is patient striker in which he takes his time picking his shots and throwing combinations. He has 5 KO wins and 7 submission wins. A lot of people look at his last fight against Alex Perez. Perez pushed the pace, came forward, and every time Perez will get into the pocket, Taira will look for that tie clinch. He pushed forward, he tried to close the distance, get in the pocket. The fight ended due to Perez blowing out his knee. Now, it's you and me went back and forth. You said he took out his knee, but I think he blew it out, and he won the fight via that way. This will be his true test. I think for me, just based on the experience, the way he looked, he has experience in championship fights. He's gone 5 rounds. I'm going to go with the underdog here. I think Royval, he has the striking advantage, and his ability to scramble on the ground is impressive, right? He's going to be able to get back up and bring the fight to its feet. So I think Royval's the pick. He's going to throw strikes with more volume. He's going to push the pace, and he's going to adapt. He has the ability to adapt as the fight progresses. So I think for me, it's going to be Royval. It's going to be interesting to see how Taira approaches this fight because he's going to look to take him down on the ground. He's not going to stand there and bang with him. So, yeah, the pick for me is going to be Royval. I'm going to go with the underdog. It's going to be a low.
We were going back and forth in regards to Taira. Taira injured Perez, right? So he was leaning on his back, and he did. He's a great grappler. Tried to lean from the back, tried it several times, and I think what happened was at the end, Perez had his knee in an angle where it became very very stressful for the knee, like kind of inwards, and the valgus, something with the stuff, and he produced that. Right. And, shout out to his comment, to his coach. He's like, yeah, this is what this guy does, brother. That was nasty. I'm excited to see the scramble between the both of them. I'm excited to see the striking. And like I said, like champ, I do have it as a low because Royval's a dog.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that has some people concerned and skeptical with this fight is that Brandon Royval is training with the new gym. He's no longer with Factory X. So this is going to be the first time we see him under a new gym and a new training regimen. So we'll see how he looks in this fight. But yeah, the pick for me is going to be Brandon Royval. We'll see what happens. There we have it. Our UFC Royval versus Taira prediction, picks, analysis, breakdown, opinions. Here are our picks. Look, we disagree on a couple fights. And if you look at the image here, it's color coded where it shows you our confidence level. Red is low, yellow is medium, and green is high. So there we have it. Let us know. Please hit a like, a subscribe, follow us, hit us up on X, leave a comment. Let us know what you think, whether you agree with us, whether you disagree with us. Let us know. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I am Roy, accompanied by the Dominican bad man, Serge, aka the floor press guy. Any parting words, my man?
Now it's going to be a great fight of nights, champ. Thank you so much for the pleasure. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow us on Twitter or X.
Yeah, follow us on X. And as always, we will be back on Sunday with a post-fight reaction. We'll let you know how we did. Peace out.